You've probably heard all kinds of fuel-saving tips, maybe from a friend, a gas station expert, or even the internet. But not everything you hear is true. From so-called magic gas-saving gadgets to premium fuel fairy tales, some myths are costing drivers more than they realize. Today, we're exposing 13 of the dumbest fuel myths stupid people still fall for. One of them might be quietly draining your wallet every time you fill up. Buckle up, because we're about to separate fact from fiction. Premium fuel makes your car better. So, you're at the gas station staring at the pump. Regular fuel is a good deal cheaper, but you're tempted. Premium fuel sounds fancy. Maybe it'll make your car faster, more efficient, or even clean the engine? Spoiler alert. Unless your car specifically requires premium, you're just throwing money out the window. Here's the deal. Premium fuel has a higher octane rating, which helps prevent engine knocking in high-performance or turbocharged engines. But if your car is built for regular fuel, and most are, premium won't make a shred of difference in how it runs. No extra power, no extra efficiency, just extra dollars wasted. And about that whole premium cleans your engine thing? Total myth. Modern fuels already come with detergents to keep things clean, whether you're using regular, mid-grade, or premium. Switching to premium won't magically scrub out years of gunk. That's what regular maintenance is for, not pricier gas. To put it into perspective, choosing premium over regular can cost you an extra $5 to $10 per tank. Multiply that over a year, and you're easily burning through hundreds of dollars for zero benefit. The takeaway? Check your owner's manual. If it doesn't say premium required, stick with regular. Your car and your wallet will thank you. Save the premium for the coffee, not the fuel pump. Are manual transmissions more fuel efficient? Once upon a time, it was true. Driving stick meant better fuel efficiency. Manuals were the champions of thrift, while old-school automatics guzzled gas like it was going out of style. But guess what? Those days are long gone. Modern automatics are a whole new beast. Thanks to advanced tech like dual-clutch transmissions and continuously variable transmissions, many automatics match or even beat manuals when it comes to fuel economy. Take the Subaru WRX, for example. The manual version sips fuel at 9.2 liters per 100 kilometers, while the CVT version does the same trip at just 8.6 liters per 100 kilometers. Or the Toyota 86. The manual burns 8.4 liters per 100 kilometers, but the automatic? A cool 7.1 liters per 100 kilometers. Of course, it's not true across the board. In some cars, the manual is still a hair more efficient, but the difference is so small, like 0.1 liters per 100 kilometers, it won't exactly break the bank. Meanwhile, automatics offer extra gears, locked torque converters, and smarter shifting that make your drive smoother and easier. What about cost? Manuals are often cheaper up front, sometimes by as much as $2,000. That's serious money you could spend on road trips or cover the slight fuel difference for years. The truth about overinflating tires. You've probably heard it. Overinflate your tires, and voila, better fuel efficiency. Sounds logical, right? Less tire touching the road means less friction, which should mean less fuel burned. People swear by it, even claiming they've seen a tiny bump in MPG. But here's the deal. This myth is running on fumes. Sure, overinflation might slightly reduce rolling resistance, but at what cost? Your safety. Overinflated tires grip the road like a pair of cheap flip-flops on a rainy day. Slippery, unpredictable, and downright dangerous. Wet roads? Forget it. And those nasty potholes? They turn overinflated tires into ticking time bombs, increasing your risk of a blowout. Let's not even get started on the uneven tread wear. Your tires will be balder than a billiard ball in no time. And that better fuel economy? Barely 1 to 2%. Not worth the harsh ride, lousy handling, and shorter tire lifespan. If you want real savings, stick to your car's recommended tire pressure. You'll drive safer, smoother, and save money on new tires. Safe pressure, better performance, win-win. Does early fill-up save you money? Ever heard this one? Fill up your tank early in the morning and you'll get more gas for your buck because cooler temps mean denser fuel. Makes sense, right? Science tells us liquids expand when heated, so morning gas should be a better deal. But before you start setting that alarm clock for a 5 a.m. fuel run, let's check the facts. Here's the thing. Gas stations store their fuel in underground tanks, where the temperature barely changes throughout the day. Consumer Reports tested this myth and found that while the air temperature swings by 12 degrees Fahrenheit or more, the gas coming out of the nozzle stayed at a steady 62 degrees Fahrenheit. Even in the afternoon, the fuel is basically the same as it was in the morning. Sure, the first couple of gallons might be warmer from sitting in the pump assembly, but once that clears out, it's all the same. The difference in volume? About 1%. We're talking pennies, not dollars. So, sleep in. The time of day doesn't matter. Your wallet won't notice the difference. Before we move on, hit that subscribe button. It might just save you a couple of full tanks. And with gas prices these days, that's practically free money. Topping off your tank saves gas. Or does it? You've probably done it. The gas pump clicks off, but you give it one more squeeze. Maybe you just want to round up to an even number, or squeeze in a little extra fuel for good measure. Sounds harmless, right? Actually, it's a total myth, and an expensive one at that. Here's what's really happening. Once your tank is full, that extra fuel you're forcing in doesn't even make it into your car's tank. Instead, it's sucked right back into the gas station's vapor recovery system. Yup, you're paying for gas that you'll never use. But wait, it gets worse. According to Consumer Reports, overfilling your tank can actually damage your car's evaporative emissions system, a fancy setup designed to trap harmful fuel vapors. When you top off, that extra gas can saturate the charcoal canister, causing it to fail and light up your check engine warning. Fixing it? Not cheap. You're looking at a repair that could set you back hundreds. And if that's not enough to convince you, think about gas spilling on the ground. Not only is it messy, but it's also a safety and environmental hazard. The takeaway? When the pump clicks off, stop pumping. You'll save money, avoid costly repairs, and help keep the air a little cleaner. Speaking of things you might be overlooking, ever wondered if that dirty air filter is quietly draining your fuel efficiency? Do dirty air filters kill gas mileage? Here's the story. You're at the mechanic and they hit you with it. Better change that air filter. A dirty one will kill your fuel efficiency. Makes sense, right? If your car can't breathe, it can't run well. But surprise! This myth is running on outdated logic. Modern cars don't care if their air filter looks like it just came out of a sandstorm. Thanks to fuel injection technology, your car adjusts air intake automatically, so gas mileage doesn't take a hit. In fact, a 2009 U.S. Department of Energy study found zero difference in fuel efficiency between clean and dirty air filters in modern vehicles. That's right, zero. Now, if you're driving something pre-1990 or you notice sluggish acceleration, that's another story. A filthy filter can mess with performance and make your car feel like it's dragging, but swapping it every 5,000 kilometers? Overkill. Most filters are good for about 48,000 kilometers, maybe more. So, before you shell out $30 to $50 for a filter you don't need, check your owner's manual. Save your money and spend it on something fun, like snacks for that road trip. Nitrogen in your tires saves fuel. Really? Let me guess. Someone at the shop told you filling your tires with nitrogen is the secret to better fuel economy and longer tire life. Sounds high-tech, right? If it's good enough for airplanes and race cars, it must be great for your commute. But here's the truth. This myth is all hot air. Nitrogen might have its place in the skies or on the track, where extreme temperatures and pressures are the norm. Airplane tires? Sure. Those bad boys go from scorching takeoffs to freezing altitudes. But your car? It's not cruising at 35,000 feet or pulling 200 miles per hour laps at Daytona. Regular air, aka 78% nitrogen, is already doing the job just fine. And about that promised boost in fuel efficiency? Total myth. As long as your tires are properly inflated, it doesn't matter if they're filled with air or nitrogen. The key is pressure, not the gas inside. Underinflated tires will tank your fuel economy, while properly inflated ones save you money, period. Oh, and let's not ignore the cost. Shops charge $5, $10, or more per tire to fill them with nitrogen. That's money you could spend on, well, anything else. The takeaway? Save the nitrogen for the science lab. Check your tire pressure regularly and top off with good old regular air, windows down or AC on. Which saves more fuel? It's summer, it's hot, and you're stuck in traffic. Do you roll down the windows or blast the AC? Everyone seems to have an opinion. Windows cause drag, AC guzzles fuel, and suddenly, cooling off feels like a major life decision. So what's the right move? Here's the truth. Neither option is really fuel efficient. Running the AC puts extra load on your engine and can reduce fuel economy by up to 25%, especially on short trips. Meanwhile, driving with your windows down increases drag, making your car work harder, particularly at highway speeds. It's a fuel economy showdown where both sides have flaws. So what should you do? It depends. At city speeds, rolling down the windows is usually more efficient since drag isn't a huge factor. But once you hit the highway, it's smarter to use the AC at a moderate setting, unless you want to turn your car into a wind tunnel. The sweet spot for fuel savings? Keep the AC at the warmest setting you can handle and let the hot air escape before turning it on. Recirculate the cool air instead of pulling it from outside, and avoid blasting the AC full throttle. Coasting in neutral saves fuel, or does it? You've heard it before. Shift into neutral when driving downhill and you'll save gas. The engine's not working, right? Momentum is doing all the heavy lifting, and your fuel gauge will thank you. Makes sense, except it's totally wrong. In modern cars, coasting in neutral doesn't save fuel. It can actually burn more. Here's why. Most fuel-injected engines cut off fuel delivery completely when you're coasting in gear with your foot off the gas. The engine keeps spinning, but it's not using fuel. Shift into neutral though, and the engine idles, still sipping fuel to stay alive. And that's not even the worst part. Coasting in neutral reduces your control over the car. You can't accelerate if a hazard pops up. Plus, shifting back into drive at speed, especially with an automatic, can cause serious wear and tear on your transmission. We're talking expensive repairs that could run you hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Oh, and by the way, coasting in neutral? It's illegal in some places because it's considered not maintaining control of your vehicle. Fail your driving test, or worse, get into an accident while coasting, and things won't end well. The smart move? Keep it in drive and let your car's tech do the work. You'll save fuel, avoid costly repairs, and stay in full control. Do old cars really guzzle more gas? Old cars. People love to say they're gas guzzlers, right? The older it gets, the worse the mileage. But here's the twist. That's not necessarily true. In fact, if you take care of your car, it can run just as efficiently at 150,000 miles as it did at 15,000. Shocking, right? The key here isn't age, it's maintenance. Engines don't magically lose efficiency with time. If you're sticking to regular oil changes, keeping the air filter clean, and taking care of wear and tear items like spark plugs and tires, your car can keep delivering solid fuel economy for years. Some cars even get better mileage in the first few years as the engine breaks in. Now, if you ignore basic maintenance, that's a different story. Worn out oxygen sensors, underinflated tires, and clogged filters will crush your fuel economy faster than you can say, fill up. And that can cost you big, up to 20% worse mileage, which means hundreds more at the pump every year. And if you've been loyal to your gas station brand, you'll want to hear this next one. It's all about fuel efficiency across the board. Can switching fuels wreck your engine? Ever heard that switching fuel brands or octane levels could mess up your engine? It sounds scary, like your car might suddenly revolt just because you filled up at a different station. But here's the truth. Your engine doesn't care about brand loyalty. It's not holding a grudge because you went from Big Fuel Co. to Joe's Gas and Go. As long as you're using the right fuel grade for your car, regular, mid-grade, or premium, switching brands is totally fine. The key is sticking to what your manufacturer recommends. Using regular when your car needs premium? Bad idea. But switching between Shell, Exxon, or BP? No big deal. The takeaway? Don't sweat brand hopping. Follow your car's fuel recommendations, and your engine will be just fine. Do only small vehicles get great fuel economy? Let's be real. When you think of fuel efficiency, tiny cars probably come to mind. Maybe you picture a small fleet of hybrids zipping around, saving gas and the planet. planet. But here's the myth. We're way past the days where small equals efficient. Thanks to modern tech, larger vehicles are closing the gap. Hybrids and clean diesel models mean SUVs and full-size vehicles can deliver solid fuel economy without sacrificing cargo space. A well-built hybrid SUV can give you close to 35 miles per gallon, and clean diesel trucks, they're pushing impressive efficiency while hauling serious weight. So, if you've been avoiding anything bigger than a compact car to save on gas, you've been missing out. Today's automakers have found that sweet spot between fuel efficiency and functionality. It's not about what you drive anymore, it's about choosing a vehicle with the right tech for your needs. Does starting your car burn more fuel than idling? Let's set the scene. You're sitting in your car, waiting. You've got two choices. Leave the engine running or turn it off and restart when you're ready to go. Somewhere in the back of your mind, you hear that old advice. Starting your car uses more fuel than idling. But is that really true? Spoiler, nope, not anymore. This myth dates back to the carburetor days. Back then, cold starts needed a rich fuel mix. And yeah, you burned more gas getting your engine going. But modern fuel-injected engines? Totally different story. The system precisely controls the air-to-fuel ratio from the moment you turn the key. No unnecessary fuel burned, no choke adjustments, no problem. Here's the simple rule. If you're going to be stopped for more than 30 seconds, turn off the engine. Even with today's fuel efficiency tech, idling still wastes gas. A few stops like that each day can easily add up to a few gallons a month. Do the math, and you're looking at $100 or more in wasted fuel every year. The takeaway? Don't cling to outdated advice. Turn off the engine if you're waiting. It's better for your fuel economy and the environment. Now that you know how to avoid these costly fuel myths, take it a step further. Watch 21 things you should never do in an automatic car, big mistake, to keep your car running smoothly and your wallet happy. See you there.